Hey guys, this is a little bit different of a podcast. I know it's on my normal Mitchell Millennial podcast audio channel. I know it's on my channel to start with, but I have been wanting to branch out and provide more compelling content, and hopefully we are starting a new journey today. We have a fellow YouTube creator. Go ahead and introduce yourself for a moment.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Zach. I do like tech reviews. Mostly I do like phones, laptops, anything that has to do with Mac OS. I also cover Hackintoshin. And yeah, I've been looking forward to doing this podcast with Mitchell. It's been really exciting to talk about like all this kind of new subjects that, you know, I mean, this month is so crazy. Like we call it like December, Tech December, whatever. So we've been bombarded by a lot of news, and it's good to get a chance to talk to someone else who kind of understands the field, and we get a bit nerdy and talk about all of this stuff and break it down. So yeah, exciting.
Yeah, and we're hoping to make this a regular thing, not just a one-off podcast, and grow it out in the future, obviously. Part of the reason why I wanted to branch out and make my podcast a little bit more guest-driven is because I am very much in my own ecosystem when it comes to like the things I use, and some people agree with me, some people don't, and Zach and I don't agree on everything,
which brings a bit of balance to the conversation, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And so today's podcast, we're going to be covering a couple of things. We're going to be first covering the Snapdragon 888, what that means for kind of the future of Android and how that might make it catch up towards what Apple has, what that means possibly for Google's own chipset, and the possibility even of Samsung's Exynos chipset kind of leapfrogging up.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the Airpods Max, which, I mean, you're the Apple fan here.
I would not consider myself an Apple fan or any fan, like, because I just believe like in the value of products, right? So if it works for you, it works for you. That's why I like we talked about this before. Like I have two phones, like one Android and one iOS based, but for me, it's not just about having like one specific loyalty to a brand. Loyalty should be to the user experience and to your own like kind of what you get in from that device, and is it bringing you any value? So, but yeah, like I was a bit disappointed about that. So we're gonna get in details, okay. But let's start with the first topic, right?
And then the last topic is kind of why Windows laptops, at least right now, at this moment right now, it's December 2020, and kind of all Windows laptops are dead with the introduction of the Apple M1 chip.
Yeah.
And it's not purely based on performance, right? Like there's some interesting things we want to get into, but first let's talk about the Snapdragon 888.
Yeah, the most exciting thing about this one. By the way, have you seen the keynote, the live stream?
I did not watch the keynote. I've watched a bunch of summaries of it,
okay.
And I've read a couple articles. The thing that I am the most excited about is the triple ISP.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
let's
right
break down
now,
for the people who understand what is an ISP when it comes to the system on a chip.
Okay. So, and you might need to correct me a little bit if I'm wrong here on this,
okay.
But essentially you have the sensor, which is the thing that actually translates the signal of light into a digital signal, and then that signal goes to a pipeline, essentially. Think of a process of demosaicing it, doing all kinds of other processing to that. And in that kind of pipeline of things is the image signal processor, right?
Yeah.
And it is. And now that the Snapdragon 888 has 3 dedicated pipelines, imagine being able to how would you say this? Imagine being able to charge your laptop with 3 USB-C cables at one time, and just having before we had 2, so right now I have the Xiaomi Mi 10, and your
OnePlus 8
OnePlus
Pro.
device. Yeah, your OnePlus 8 Pro should be compatible with this, but at least on Xiaomi, I can record video from the front and the back camera at the same
time, yeah.
and then overlay them, and that's because we have the dual image signal processors in the Snapdragon
865, right? Yeah.
Right. But the reality is having 3 image signal processors, it gives us a lot more. How would you say that?
It's more about like getting a lot of sensor data and combining it in like one file or one kind of like processing unit. What they're saying here is that the new ISP can capture like 3 pictures or 3 photos at exact same time.
Are you looking at that up on your? Can you screen share that to me?
All right, yeah.
So
I'm looking at that now. Okay, 1 second. So what they're saying is that you can like take 3 photos same time at 28 megapixels each, which is like incredible. Like even for like high end cinema cameras and stuff, like this is a big deal. Like like I feel now that like the phone the smartphone like industry is getting ahead of the cinema industry when it comes to computational photography or video, but of course like the sensors are better when it comes to cinema cameras, but when it comes to the computational stuff, like what the processor inside these devices can do, like it's getting way beyond what the professional field can do.
Well, definitely, and I don't want to I don't want to shit on your point, as they would say.
Yeah.
But something that has come up kind of time and time again with this is we have chipset capabilities, right? Which is what the chipset is capable of. It is up to manufacturers and it's up to OEMs to then develop drivers and develop APIs and develop stuff that utilizes that, right?
Yeah.
For an example, the LG V20, like back a while ago, I forgot which SoC it used, but you could do the front back video recording thing and record 2 streams of video on that older generation Snapdragon processor, right? But we haven't seen manufacturers develop on this, or not all of them at least, and Xiaomi is probably one of the worst for this, right? Because people generally look at the hardware level, they don't look at the software level or the development level, and then that means that we have these chipsets that are really capable, and then we have manufacturers that don't develop for that.
Okay, I see your point, but like it takes time to that's the problem actually with Android devices, is like we have a big kind of like separation when it comes to what kind of work we can get from the same SoC, in this case the Snapdragon ones. Like every manufacturer kind of like take it to their own kind of style, and we never see like something that is Android, like this is the Android kind of result that you expect for this kind of chipset. And that's been a problem for Android. And Samsung, we've been trying to do their own thing with the Exynos. We're gonna get into that, but I mean, that's why I think like the the ecosystem of Apple kind of provides this advantage for them, which is they can do this very tight integration of software and hardware, especially when it comes to the cameras. Like the iPhone 11 can do that. Like they can have 3 streams of 4K from each lens, and they can combine it into one file or one system. And I think Apple has the advantage because, of course, they have a tight control over their ecosystem. So,
I mean, and that kind of makes us want to then talk about. There's rumors of Google having their own chipset, because the big question that came from this was, if this is going to be the Snapdragon top tier chipset and Google is no longer doing these top tier chipsets in their phones, then we're not going to get this in future Pixel phones. So and the other problem that I see, at least on the Android side of things, is that Google is not a big enough hardware seller. They don't sell enough hardware yet
Yeah.
to ask an SoC manufacturer to develop their own proprietary SoC. Like, that's something that Huawei can do because
Of the scale they have, yeah.
right, exactly. That's something that Samsung can do because of the scale that Samsung has.
And they also have their
right?
own fabs, right? Samsung has.
Yeah. Samsung has their own fabrication for it, and right now, like the new RTX 3000 series, I think, are built on the Samsung 5 nanometer architecture.
I think it's the 8 nanometer one.
For the new Exynos or the new
For the RTX one, for the NVIDIA.
Oh, I'm not a computer nerd.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Person, but so yeah, I mean it's like 2021 is going to be really interesting to see which direction I think companies go in regards to their own SoCs or just SoCs in general.
Yeah, I do believe that with this new ISP, we can hope at least for similar performance to the iPhone. Because I did a review for the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max, and I was kind of like surprised by the performance, especially for recording HDR video. So they made a big deal about HDR Dolby Vision. But here's the thing that I found. So I did like a comparison between the OnePlus 8 Pro that I have and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and you cannot record HDR video in 4K at the and change the frame rates on the OnePlus 8 Pro. So the frame rates get locked to 30 FPS.
Right, and so the reason why that is because to record HDR video, you're actually recording 4K 90 or 4K 120. Because it's recording one above, one below. So that's.
And I cannot also change to the wide angle or the telephoto one, just the main one. But with the iPhone, you can easily seamlessly change.
Of course. Yeah. And that the reason why is that has to do again with ISPs. But let's kind of move on.
Yeah, to the AirPods Max.
AirPods Max. I'm gonna ask you to defend it. I'm gonna ask you to defend it because you're much.
I don't
more
want to, but I'm gonna try. I mean, yeah, okay, let's go. Okay.
So right off the bat, it's an insane price.
It's not surprising, I would say, for Apple, but it's at the same time it's still kind of disappointing that they went this way, because at least for their marketing, like have you seen the video, the introduction video? Because this was just a press release. They did not do
I did watch a couple. I watched like with the headphone cup thing.
Yeah.
So look.
Design wise, it's incredible.
Design wise, they're nice.
Yes.
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
And like the manufacturing, they're nice. Okay. But not being able to turn them off.
Yeah, that's okay. They might say we're gonna push an update where I don't know if they have enough sensors inside the headphones that if you put them down on the table, or if they're not in your ears, then they're gonna like go into low power mode. But that's weird that the only way now that you can put them into low power mode or sleep mode is in the case, which they want you to buy.
Okay. The case comes with them for free.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Okay. But still, like the case is okay. We're gonna go into a different.
Okay. So let's. I want to talk for a moment about Apple hypocrisy, because about 2 months ago, Apple came out with a statement saying that they were going to allow users, or they were going to push an update to AirPods that would smart charge the battery. Because if you don't know this, the worst thing for battery life on a device is to have it at 100% charge for an extended period of time, right?
Yeah, it's gonna destroy the battery, chemicals inside. Yeah,
right. That's why you never charge your phone overnight. Okay. That said, I understand that Apple's putting them in a low power mode, but what if what if I'm leaving the country for 3 months and I don't want them to drain to zero?
Yeah.
Like
I agree with you. Totally. It's a very stupid concept that the only way to put them in low power mode is in the case, and it's like, okay, but sometimes you just want them in low power mode for a short time. Like you want to go take a shower, cook something, and then you don't want them to waste the battery. So why would you put them in a case just like going for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and then coming back? And I mean, yeah. Look, you said try to defend them, but I can't.
It's really hard.
Especially for this one, like, I mean, for other stuff, you can find some argument for the way they thought about this, or that's the Apple way. But I mean, for this one,
is there a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack?
No, only Lightning.
But you can listen to them wired or no?
I'm not sure. One sec. I don't think so.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because the cable they gave you is like Lightning to USB-C, so I'm not sure if it's for audio as well. Okay.
That's insane.
Yeah. What they say here is there's nothing to mention about audio from the Lightning.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, they say one thing. Yeah, here's the Verge article. One thing you will not find is a 3.5 millimeter jack, which is a standard issue. So yeah, so there's no way to have them like wired, like doing wired audio.
Oh my god. So
Yes.
it's
wireless.
You have to buy a 3.5 millimeter to Lightning cable if you want to use them wired.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my god. I'm sorry.
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Look, the audio quality is a different thing that we need to talk about. So if they are actually, very high fidelity and they compare to the Sennheisers and the most expensive ones are maybe more than $2,000. Like the hi-fi headphones and stuff. So if we're talking about similar audio quality, maybe you can say that it's actually reasonable pricing.
But I hate to cut you off, but I think that it's impossible to say that because those headphones are going to have a higher resistance rate and they're going to need a specific DAC to drive them, right? To have like a high quality DAC. And a big reason, I have a couple friends that are audiophiles, a big reason that you get these high-end headphones is because different DACs or digital audio converters and different amplifiers that you use to drive these headphones will change the sound of the headphones. Like it's not like it's like you get an expensive pair of headphones like that so that you can use a high-end DAC and like different types of amps to amplify the sound so that it drives the headphones, because high-end headphones have a higher resistance. I might be fucking up the terminology of it, but that's the tech behind it. And like the people that are like true audiophiles, maybe this would be an option for them to like have as their travel headphones. I just have a hard time seeing that.
Like, honestly, if I would get these, it would only be for the design. I would like not get them for... Yeah, like the design is really like something I like about them, to be honest. It's like they're clean looking and sleek. But for the features that you get, it's not like $550 worth of sound. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm failing miserably here in the
okay.
But
Okay, let's wrap that. Let's wrap that up. So I made a video. I did another podcast specifically talking about the M1 MacBook Pro, and how it's completely killed laptops for me. right? Um, I saw you were interested in getting one. I want to hear what your take.
I'm getting
what
one actually,
your,
yeah, this weekend, and I'm gonna do a video about it.
Really, are you gonna get the Pro or
Yeah,
the Air?
the Air. So just for a review, so I'm gonna get it for 1 week and test it and benchmark it, and then see, see how I can like compare it maybe to the Mini, the Mac Mini M1,
Hmm.
but it's not in Vietnam yet. That's what I hear. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
but
mean,
I'm really looking forward to testing them and see if the performance. I mean, from all the reviewers and the tech people, they already said it's incredible, and you can see the results are amazing. But there's a question of like, is it worth it to be a beta tester now? So
yeah.
for the people who rely on some professional apps, I would
Hmm.
not really recommend to switch to M1 yet. But if you're already into the Apple ecosystem and you use Final Cut, you use all,
The
maybe
Apple
some
apps.
Adobe apps, yeah, the Apple apps, then yeah, maybe it's a good bet to go with M1.
I the
Yeah,
thing.
but first let's talk about the performance and the shipment.
I mean, I think at least to me, the area that the area that has killed all of the other the area that's killed all other Windows laptops to me, right? In regards to this,
Yeah.
right now AMD is making the best chipsets with their 8-core chipsets, right? Nvidia with their new 3000 series has taken a huge leap forward in regards to graphics performance. But right now, you can only buy a Ryzen 7 CPU mobile and an RTX 2060. That's the only combination. Um, so
Okay.
if we know that we are going to have this same kind of jump going to the RTX 3000 series, right? If I want to buy a laptop now, right?
Mm.
The next version of it, right, would be Ryzen 7 RTX 3060, let's say, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to be out yet for like another 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, probably like yeah, June next year, summer.
Yeah, maybe a little earlier than that.
Mm.
But like,
Okay.
and so like the review I saw was the Asus Zephyrus G14, which is the computer that I really wanted to get,
Mm-hmm.
versus the Apple MacBook Pro M1, and like the Asus is faster for all of the stuff that I use it for, being Adobe, but it's not it's not like a huge leap of forward. And like the MacBook Air is like $1,200 or $1,300, right?
The base one is 980.
Right, but like but like the MacBook Pro 16 gigs of RAM, the MacBook Air 16 gigs of RAM, or the MacBook. I mean, either.
Yeah, like usually with Apple upgrade is like $200 more.
But
So
like
like yeah.
either way, the Asus Zephyrus G14 is still a more expensive laptop than even the Apple MacBook Pro M1.
Okay, I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
And on top of that, we have this whole future now where, like, I think companies are kind of seeing that the writing's on the wall. Like the point that I made in my podcast was that computers are kind of tied to this legacy construction of having the GPU separate from the CPU, and Apple was just like, throw all the legacy shit out. We're gonna put this all on one SoC.
Yeah, because they basically came from a different let's say a different way of doing things than Intel and AMD. So Intel was more about how much power can we get and how much we can throw at this like system, like the Intel CPUs
Mm-hmm.
or even their integrated GPUs. So it's like if you want to get more performance, how much watt this CPU
Mm-hmm.
can get. But Apple came from the other way, which is efficiency. So they started with the iPhones first, then the iPads,
Mm-hmm.
and it was always about efficiency, battery life. It's a small system on a ship, so we don't have a lot of wattage. So the iPhone uses like 5 or 10 watts, like I think between 5 and 10. The iPad maybe 10 and between 10 and 15. So yeah, like when you come from that kind of like efficiency, and I think that's what they said in the keynote, is that they kind of scale that up. So it becomes easier to scale that up if you come from efficiency, because let's say if you only put 10 watts in a chip and it gives you this kind of performance, what happens if you put 20 watts
Right.
and 30 watts?
Right.
The problem with let's say Intel, AMD is actually doing a good job now with desktops, but I mean with Intel was like we're coming from like 300 like 100 watts or maybe 90 watts. And if we want to get more performance, we either have to shrink down the die size and, go from, let's say, they never went from 14 nanometers. Like, I mean, we were waiting for 10 nanometers for more than 5 years. But I mean, like, we're trying to shrink down the die size. And from that, we can get efficiency. But they never did that. They were struggling to, like, increase the performance at the same time, keep the efficiency. And Apple is, going over everybody else in the industry with the M1, and I think their years of experience, as they said, with the iPhone chips. I mean the A series and also the iPad ones gave them a huge advantage to jump to this one.
It totally did, and like the thing is that Windows on ARM right now doesn't really have any advantage. Like there's no advantage for Windows on ARM. Right now, everything that we have is behind Apple in regards to mobile stuff. Like and it's not close. And like I would like to buy and build like a Ryzen 7 4700 RTX 3060 when we can get the 3060s here, like 32 gigs of RAM and AIO, and try to do it in a ITX size case or like a mini ATX if possible. Like I really want something small to edit videos with, but now this makes me want to hold off on just buying a computer altogether.
I think you should go with the M1, or maybe wait for the M1X, because especially for the kind of work you do, video editing and like any kind of creative apps and stuff, like going with the M1 would be a good bet, especially for the next 3 or 4 years. And guess what? This is just the base model. Yeah.